All right, today I thought I'd take a moment, do a little shorter one on how I'm planning to restore the wheels on this Polaris. They have the gold wheels that we're used to seeing on the old 1980s Hondas, the old 1980s Yamahas. Polaris has it. A lot of folks like to call it Yamaha Gold. And I have to give some credit for this idea to Peter down in Australia. He restored a Big Bear, and we were talking online, and he turned me on to a VHT caliper paint, and the color match is really close. So let's start by looking at the condition of some of these rims starting out. So here we have the parts Polaris, really roughed up, really gold, really rusted. A lot of pitting down here in the back. Moving forward to the front, a little better. There's a bend here. And to get rid of a bend like this, I would get a pair of leather gloves, pinch it on that lip, and with a spanner wrench, I'd make the spanner wrench gap small. Just reach it on there and just work it back slowly. This steel will bend right back out. But on the parts quad here, you can see really where I've started with in working on the main quad as we combine pieces here. I've done a little restoration on the rubber caps that go on. This is just wash them, hit them with SC1. Seeing that all the way around. And I've done a little bit of tape off the axle and just hit this with a wire brush, and then some satin Rust-Oleum just to bring some of the color back. And starting to touch up the frame as well. And this is just a piece of cardboard, wedge cardboard in here from Cheez-It box, non-corrugated cardboard. And then just hitting this again with a Rust-Oleum satin. I've found this is really the best match that I've been able to find for a lot of the frames, the Yamaha frames, the Polaris frames, not the high gloss, the satin. This is what we're using over here. This is a VHT caliper high temperature paint. It goes on really smooth. And this is the gold color. So I'll show you. So I have one wheel here, not in very bad condition. And the idea is I wanted to get these cleaned up and painted without having to take the tires off the rims. So within here, some fine sandpaper. I have a 220 that I'm going to use, and some steel wool. This rust here, if it doesn't come off easy with the Brillo and steel wool, I do use a wire wheel. Just be aware the wire wheel can really cut down the steel and leave some scratches and gouges that you're going to have to take some time to get out. If you have really rusted, like some of those tires, like some of those wheels, wear a mask. You're going to put a lot of rust dust up in the air. What I'm doing here is using the playing card method. And I had never used this method before, but it's working out great. So here's a wheel that I've done cleanup on, 2 coats with the VHT. I did not do a primer ahead of time. This was just that VHT right on top. So this is what you're seeing here. Color match again. This is one that's had 2 quotes. 2 quotes. This is one that has had 2 coats and one I haven't touched yet. Really close match between the cleaned up one and the non-touched one. And I'm just wrapping the stems in electrical tape. I've seen some guys use some PEX tubing, or painter's tape. I just have electrical laying around, so using that. So I'm going to get this one cleaned up, taped off, start painting it. I've got to flip these over to do the other side. And the playing card trick, really great, because these tires are fully inflated. I did not air them down, and I can still stick them right under the bead in there so I can get paint on the outside of the rim. Going to look quite nice. So let's finish cleaning these up. Go get a spanner, let's take this bend out. Nice and snug to it. Just slide it along. Roll it out. A little bit at a time. That looks pretty good to me. I'm gonna hit this with some air to clean it up before I put the cards in and paint it. Again, this tire has roughly 15 psi, so it's fairly solid compared to what you run that closer to 4 or 5 psi. Don't try to do this on a weekday. These cars are really just set down in here, not jammed down here. Just like that. Let's hit it. I'll let that first light coat set up. This goes on really fine. You're gonna do 3 and 4 coats. 1 can is probably just enough. You're probably better off with 2 cans. But we'll let that set up for 30 minutes. We'll hit it again. We'll go throughout the day. It's pretty humid out here today, so this is gonna take a while. All right, that's gonna be a rinse and repeat for a little while to get the coats on, let it dry. I mean, I think this is gonna look really nice. Now, hindsight already, a primer coat would probably even things out even more. I didn't do that, and I wonder a little bit about a protective gloss coat. I don't think it's gonna be necessary, but as I get all the coats on here done and dry, get them mounted back up, I'll show you what the finished product looks like here.